How many remember Ben Davis clothing? Ben Davis wasn't made for fashion. It was built for work, but over the decades, this rugged American workwear brand became a staple of West Coast culture, hip hop, skateboarding, and eventually global streetwear. Ben Davis has a rich and vibrant history. The Davis family has been involved in the U.S. garment industry since the mid 1800s, when Ben's grandfather, Jacob, helped create the modern jeans as we know them today. A few weeks ago, I did a video on the legacy of Dickies and streetwear, and I received an overwhelming amount of people requesting that I do a video on Ben Davis also. Shamefully, I have to admit, I don't have the deepest history with the brand. I am familiar with them, and I do remember seeing the logo around, but I was never really super hardcore on it, if you know what I'm talking about. However, I am a man of the people, and I like to get an audience what they want. So, ask and you shall receive. This one better get like 50k views, because I had a ton of people requesting it. But anyway, I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com, and this is the legend of Ben Davis clothing. Building a streetwear empire without even trying. But before we get started, as always, if you like videos on streetwear and pop culture history, then please take a second to smash that like button for me. Liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos is the only way to get the YouTube algorithms to notice us. Another way to help us out is by stopping by the website after the video is done. At TakeFlight214.com, we offer hundreds of art pieces that any fan of the channel is sure to love. But with all that being said, let's dive into this story. Ben Davis was founded in 1935 as Ben F. Davis Manufacturing Co. by Simon Davis and his son Ben out of San Francisco, California. The garment industry had been in the family for quite a while by then. Ben's grandfather, Jacob, immigrated to the United States as a young man. Old Jacob was a worldly guy, turns out. He was always on the move. And he needed a sturdy pair of pants. Especially since he recently moved to San Francisco with dreams of hitting it big as a prospector. He didn't strike it rich with gold, but he did manage to do quite well with his pant sales. Credited with inventing the first rivets in jeans, his idea spread like wildfire, and before long, Davis was making pants for every working man in the area. Eventually, Jacob entered a partnership with Levi Strauss, where he worked on the upper floors in management until his death in 1908. By 1935, Jacob's son, Simon, and his son, Ben, wanted to continue the family legacy by launching their own brand. Ben Davis was founded as a union brand, a point that was emphasized with its original four-word slogan, "Union made, plenty tough." In a then labor town like San Francisco, which that's crazy because it's definitely not a labor town now, but back then it was. So that carried a lot of weight. Longshoremen, tradespeople, bus drivers, they all wore Ben Davis, purchased from their neighborhood surplus store. The brand's smiling gorilla logo became synonymous with toughness and reliability. For decades, Ben Davis was the blue-collar uniform in California. Their famous half-zip work shirt made from heavy-duty polycotton blends was nearly indestructible, perfect for a long day on the job. Unlike other brands that consistently chased trends, Ben Davis stayed consistent. The styles didn't change much, and that stability gave it authenticity over the years. But this same consistency also made the clothes appealing to communities outside the workplace, especially in Chicano culture and West Coast street style. For years, Ben Davis remained a workwear label, but much like other utilitarian brands, its garments transitioned to workwear and into pop culture eventually. By the late 70s and 80s, Ben Davis had become a cultural uniform in the Mexican American community in Los Angeles and in the Bay Area. When West Coast hip hop exploded in the late 80s and 90s, Ben Davis was right there. Artists like Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, and Cypress Hill all wore the brand in photo shoots and music videos. The gorilla logo became a quiet but powerful stamp of authenticity. At the same time, skaters and punk kids started adopting Ben Davis. The clothes were cheap, durable, and anti-fashion. Exactly what skaters loved. You could thrash in them, you could rip them, and they still last longer than anything else that you could find on the market at that time. As skateboarding overlapped with hip-hop and streetwear, Ben Davis became a part of that mix. Underground streetwear stores in LA, San Francisco, and even in Japan started carrying the gear, treating it as a badge of legitimacy. The brand eventually got huge in Asia. The Japanese's love for Americana drove the wave through the entire eastern part of the world. And much like Dickies and Carhartt, Ben Davis never really tried to be streetwear. It was pulled in thanks to its realness. In 2015, they partnered with DC Shoes for their first ever streetwear brand collab. The capsule blended Ben Davis's durable workwear aesthetic with DC's skateboarding roots. The collaboration included shirts, button-downs, jackets, and footwear modeled with the Ben Davis flair. Later in 2019, they linked up with streetwear giant Supreme on a highly anticipated collaboration, fully ingratiating them into the modern streetwear culture. Everyone could wear it, and in its malleability, everyone could make it their own. It was local, it was durable, and crucially, it was accessible. That was the most important part. Every subculture had its own way of wearing Ben Davis, even if it meant different things, different people in different neighborhoods. It stood for a vision of San Francisco that was working class and stood away from the mainstream. It also suggested a bit of grit, a bit of toughness. Schools ended up banning Ben Davis' logo because of its perceived gang affiliations, a claim that blue-collar parents who also wore Ben Davis protested. During the 90s and early 2000s, Ben Davis reigned supreme on the West Coast, along with Dickies. They left a huge footprint on the culture and style of the day. Even now, you still see it in army surplus and workwear shops that remain in the city. But it has lost two things over the years that made it what it used to be. One, it's no longer union made or American made, following union disputes and the push to outsource to international factories. It's technically not even a Frisco brand anymore since the headquarters was moved to Marin County. It is, however, still owned by the Davis family. Come to think, after all of these years, they never sold out. Even though workwear has re-entered the zeitgeist in the last few years, Ben Davis hasn't seen the same mass revival that, say, Dickies 874s or Carhartt double knee pants have. Ben Davis has never been one to really advertise the way other brands do. It's always been a if you know kind of thing. Even today, rappers, skaters, and streetwear brands continue to shout out Ben Davis as one of the true originals. It hasn't gone mainstream like Carhartt or Dickies, but that's exactly why it's so respected. It keeps its identity intact. From the docks of San Francisco to the streets of Los Angeles, from hip-hop videos to Japanese streetwear boutiques, Ben Davis has always been true to its roots. It may never chase hype or strut on fashion runways, but that's the beauty of it. Ben Davis didn't need reinvention. The culture embraced it exactly the way it was. Nearly 90 years after its founding, Ben Davis remains one of the most authentic workwear brands in streetwear culture. It's proof that the realest styles doesn't come from fashion shows. It comes from the streets. And sometimes all it takes is a gorilla logo and a work shirt to make history. But what do you think? Were you a fan of Ben Davis back in the day? Would you still wear their stuff now? Hit us in the comment section and let us know. Also, if you made it all the way to the end and you enjoy videos like this, then don't forget to hit that like button. Liking, sharing, and commenting is the best way to get the YouTube algorithm to notice us, and the only way to help us continue to grow as a channel. Another way to help out is by stopping by the website. As I said earlier, check us out, check out the wares. We got something for everybody. And if you want to be updated whenever we drop a new video, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell. That way you can be dinged when each new episode is released. We do one a week. With all that being said, I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com signing out. Until next time. Peace.